Yo, what is good, YouTube? And welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to 5-out in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. I know this is something that I generally make a video on every single year, so this video may not be helpful for a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all already know this, but a lot of people are probably new to MyTEAM, wanting to know how to space the floor properly, and this video is going to be helpful for a lot of y'all as well to get the spacing that you really desire in MyTEAM. So, with that being said, before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's break this down. So 5-outing honestly is not particularly hard. It's very, very simple actually, but it's something that I think is very, very useful for a lot of players to know how to do. And it's something that a lot of new players may not know how to do. So again, that's why I'm making this video, and it's really, really simple. I am going to make a video later on today about or not, I guess technically it may not be later today. We'll see when this video is released. It might be the same day. It might be tomorrow. Either way, gonna make a video breaking down the best offensive and defensive settings to start the year, as well as how to save both of those. But in this video, we're just gonna talk about the settings that you need to 5-out, and we're just going to hop into a random domination game just to showcase what I'm talking about with this 5-out spacing and how that can be useful. So yeah, that is what we're going to do here. And basically I'm just using domination as an example, but all you're looking for is set here in these freelances. Freelances are going to be your key for scoring the ball and spacing the floor properly, and that is basically you want to set your freelance to 5-out or Bucks 2018 or comp. Any of those three freelances will work, and in my opinion, I think all of them are at least have the ability to be decent. So I do think all of them can be solid. In my opinion, I like to run 5-out personally, but Bucks 2018 and comp all kind of do the same thing in all honesty. So I just leave it on 5-out, and then once you load into the game, all you're going to do, it's really, really simple. You do have to activate the freelance in game each game. So this is something that's very important to keep in mind so that you do get the proper spacing for your 5-out. But it's really, really, again, like I said, quite simple to do. This is something that I've been doing in MyTEAM, and you've been able to do in MyTEAM with various different freelancers for a few years now. There used to be a Hawks 2018 freelance you do it in, and literally it's just muscle memory. All you got to do is you hit your right on the D-pad, and then you hit RB for your freelance, and then you hit A for 5-out. And as y'all can see immediately, as soon as I go into that freelance, they space the floor. So look what that does. Number one, if I run my pick and roll, look at the spacing I have. It's beautiful spacing. Şengün moved out of the corner a little bit there, and sometimes they will move from their spot, which isn't exactly what you want them to do. It's not perfect. You know, I think I'd rather them just stay in their spot there. But the guys, you got a guy on the opposite hash, guy on the corner, and guy on the opposite corner, a guy in both corners and a guy on the opposite hash, and then you have your screener, and it allows you to run your pick and roll or pick and fade to perfection with the spacing that you're really looking for. So again, let's say I want to run a pick and roll here with Şengün. I call this pick and roll, and you see I got a guy on the opposite corner, guy on the hash, and a guy in the same side corner. And that is, again, that's pretty much ideal spacing. That's what you're looking for your pick and roll, because it gives you the room to where if you slip your screen, like I did just there with Alperen Şengün, you can get yourself an easy bucket. You know what I mean? There's not a guy clogging the paint there where I'm slipping my center into another defender. It clears up the spacing so I can run my offense properly. But not only that, I bring the ball off the court, they're automatically kind of going to go set into a 5-out freelance. Again, you see how KD resets up top, but I will say you do see them moving around and doing their own thing to a certain extent. Another thing that you can do that is really, really effective is to hit left on your D-pad and then hit LB, which is pass and screen away, and that will get them to set how you want them to. I get a shot clock violation there because I was waiting too long, but it'll get them to set how you want to, and from where you are on the court, they will react accordingly to space the floor properly, and more so stay in their spacing as well. They won't move off of it the same way that they're moving off of it otherwise, even in the 5-out freelance. So I'll explain that again here in just a second when they get back on the offensive end of the court. Let's see if we can get Ben Simmons to shoot a jump shot. Ben Simmons does not shoot jumpers. Even in 2K, he won't shoot a jumper. That's funny. Either way, though, as y'all can see, I bring the ball up in the middle of the court. I go left on my D-pad and I hit LB for pass and screen away. You see how the spacing is? They move out to the outside there, and then I have 5-out spacing again that I can work my offense out of if I want to. I can call a screen from anywhere, but they will space the floor the way that I want them to every single play, and it's just a great way to get initial spacing on your offense no matter what, whether you want to send a back door out of that, whether you want to call a pick and roll out of that, whether you want to try to beat a defender off the dribble, whether you want to isolate, kind of regardless of what you want to do. It's a way to get that initial spacing no matter what. And it's something that you can do in the middle of a play. If you're resetting a play, you want to get space, you weren't able to score on your first opportunity on the possession, you got 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and you catch the ball in the corner and you want to space the floor. Call pass and screen away. You get the proper spacing you want basically every single time, which again is something that I think is very, very useful. Like for example, here, I'll run to the corner with Russ and I'll call pass and screen away from the corner. And you see immediately they're going to space out to the way that they should be. Like you see how KD immediately goes out to the hash and gives me the proper 5-out spacing that I'm looking for. That is the beauty, again, of this 5-out spacing that you're getting, regardless of the freelance. Again, Bucks 2018 comp or 5-out will all give you the same results, but those are the two ways that I think using the 5-out can really be effective, is in a couple different ways. Number one, obviously, really simple. I just think when you call the 5-out spacing, it automatically is going to set it up to where whenever you call a pick and roll, in transition, whatever the case may be, when you call a pick and roll, the other three guys are going to space to where they need to be on the court to properly space it, which generally, if you're calling pick and roll at the top of the key, they're going to go to the opposite hash into both corners. But depending on where you call the pick and roll from, it works. I'll show you again here in just a second. It works when you're calling a pick and roll out of the corner too. Like they're just going to space the floor the way that you want them to regardless. And then if you call pass and screen away, you can basically get them to stay spaced a little bit more properly and things of that nature, which obviously can be very, very nice as well. But like I said, it does not only work on pick and roll when you call at the top of the key, it'll work here as well. I call this pick and roll and you see immediately they space to give me plenty of room to run my offense and let me work out and run the offense effectively. And I think, again, that is the beauty of 5-out spacing right now in NBA 2K25. And just the beauty of spacing in general in basketball is really, really important. And I mean, we've seen in the last 10 years, even 10, 15 years of the NBA, how much more important and how much more valuable spacing has become. And trust me, that type of stuff all carries over to MyTEAM as well. Spacing is absolutely crucial, and having the ability to 5-out properly will just unlock your offense and allow you to transform your offense at a completely different level. Because again, I'm going to just show you one more time real quickly. Let's just look at the difference when you don't have a 5-out spacing. They may occasionally space the floor properly, but let's just say we put on a freelance where we just have it on default. And then I throw it to Kawhi or throw it to whoever, I run a pick and roll. And yes, they're spacing the floor well, but that's because I already had the 5-out freelance on. But again, I call a screen here, and they're just not. Well, actually, I say that they're spacing the floor pretty well right now, not the way that I would expect them to. But if you're in a different default freelance when you start the game, that's not generally going to happen with your freelance. Let's say you're in any of these other freelances, they're just not going to space the floor as well as you would want them to, especially if you're in one of these other smaller freelances that are just not designed to space the floor whatsoever. So definitely something that I think is very important to keep in mind. And I think 5-out spacing is absolutely crucial to success in MyTEAM. So hopefully this video helps a lot of y'all out who may not have known how to do this properly and may not have known how to do this effectively yet. And if so, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.